Nobody is coming to save you from yourself. Not the woman you are with, not your boys, not your therapist, not the comment section, not the likes on your last post. The moment you understand that, truly understand it, your entire life changes. Stay until point number 6, because that is the one most men refuse to hear. It is the reason emotionally dependent men keep attracting the same chaos no matter how many times they start over. And nobody in your life will ever tell it to you straight. There is a man most people know, smart, decent looking, has his life together on paper. But the moment something goes wrong, a woman pulls back, a friend says the wrong thing, a plan falls apart, he unravels. He needs to call someone. He needs reassurance. He needs someone to tell him it is going to be okay before he can function again. That man is not weak because he has emotions. He is weak because his emotions are running him instead of the other way around. Today, we are going to fix that. 6 points. No fluff. No therapy speak. Just the raw truth about what emotional discipline actually looks like and how to build it starting today. Let us get into it. Point 1. Your emotions are information, not instructions. Picture this. You are at work. Your boss pulls you into a meeting and criticizes your performance in front of the team. You feel a surge of anger and humiliation immediately. What do? Most men do one of two things. They either suppress it completely, stuff it down, say nothing, and simmer in silence for 3 days. Or they react, say something they regret, damage the relationship, and spend the next week managing the fallout. Both are failures of emotional discipline. And here is why. The anger you felt in that meeting was real and it was valid. Something happened that crossed a line. The emotion was giving you accurate information. This situation is worth addressing. But the emotion was not telling you to explode in the room. That is where most men confuse feeling with acting. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by the things which happen, but by the opinions about the things." The anger is not the problem. Your relationship to the anger is the problem. The emotionally disciplined man feels everything. He just does not let what he feels decide what he does next. He receives the emotion as data. He processes it internally. Then he chooses his response deliberately. That small gap between feeling and acting, that is where masculine power lives. What I am about to tell you next is the part that most men in their 20s and 30s have never been taught, and it is costing them every relationship and opportunity they have. Point 2. External validation is a drug, and you are addicted to it. Think about the last time you posted something online and checked your phone every 10 minutes waiting for the response. Think about the last time a woman went quiet and you could not focus on anything else until she replied. Think about the last time a friend did not react the way you hoped and it affected your mood for the rest of the day. That is not sensitivity. That is dependency. There is a man I know, sharp guy, runs his own business. Everyone around him thinks he has it together. But if his girlfriend does not text back within 2 hours, he is in a completely different headspace. If a deal falls through, he needs 3 people to talk him down. If someone online criticizes his work, he is distracted for the rest of the week. From the outside, his life looks solid. On the inside, he has outsourced his emotional stability to everyone around him. And the terrifying thing about that is that everyone around him can leave. Point 3. The rock does not move for the wave. There is a reason women consistently say they want a man who is stable. Not rich necessarily, not perfect looking, stable. They want to know that when chaos comes, and it always comes, he is not going to fall apart alongside them. Think about a relationship you have seen or been in where one person was always the emotional anchor, the one who stayed calm when the other panicked, the one who did not escalate when things got heated, the one who could hold space without losing themselves. That person commanded quiet respect that no amount of status or looks could buy. That is the Rock. And here is what most men misunderstand about being the Rock. They think it means being cold, being distant, suppressing emotions to seem strong. That is not the Rock. That is a wall. Walls keep everything out. Rocks just do not move. The Rock feels the wave. The Rock does not pretend the ocean is not there. The Rock just does not get dragged out with the tide. His internal state is not determined by the weather around him. He can be warm, present, and fully engaged, and still be completely unmoved when pressure arrives. That is emotional discipline. And it is built, not born. Point 4. You need a daily practice of emotional sovereignty. Most American men have a physical routine: gym, diet, sleep. They track macros, they track steps. They have optimized their body. But they have zero daily practice for their inner world. And then they wonder why they are emotionally reactive, validation-seeking, and mentally unstable the moment life applies real pressure. Emotional sovereignty is not something you have one day. It is something you practice every single day, the same way you practice physical discipline. Here is what that looks like in practical terms. Every morning before your phone, and this is critical, before your phone, you sit with yourself for 10 minutes. No input, no content, no music, just you. You check in. What am I feeling right now? Why? Is this feeling accurate information about my situation, or is it a reaction to something that happened yesterday? What response would the man I am building choose here? That 10-minute practice sounds small. Do it every day for 30 days and you will be a different person. Because what you are training is the gap. That space between stimulus and response that Epictetus built his entire philosophy around. You are making the gap wider every single day. And a wider gap means more control. More control means more power. More power means more freedom. Point 5. Stop making other people responsible for your emotional state. There is a pattern that destroys more relationships than any other, and it is this. One person in the relationship makes the other person responsible for how they feel. When she is happy, he is happy. When she is distant, he spirals. When she is angry, he either shuts down or escalates. His entire emotional weather system is being controlled by her forecast. This is not love. This is emotional outsourcing, and it is one of the most unattractive things a man can do in a relationship. Not because it shows that he cares, but because it shows that he cannot function independently. I have talked to men who have lost relationships they genuinely wanted, not because they were bad men, not because they did not love the woman, but because she eventually felt like she was carrying both of their emotional worlds. That is exhausting for anyone, and at some point she stops. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. Some things are within your control, some things are not. Other people's emotions, reactions, and choices are not within your control. Your response to them is. The moment you internalize this completely, not just intellectually, but in your body, in your gut, you stop bleeding energy into things you cannot change and start investing it into the one thing you can, yourself. Make yourself responsible for your own emotional state, every day, without exception. That is the foundation everything else is built on. Point 6. Emotional discipline is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of mastery. This is the point most men get wrong about Stoicism. They think it means feeling nothing, being cold, cutting off. They look at Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus and think the goal is to become some emotionless machine that processes life without ever being moved by it. That is not Stoicism. That is avoidance dressed up as philosophy. Marcus Aurelius lost children. He buried friends. He fought wars he did not want. He dealt with betrayal from people he trusted. He felt all of it. He wrote about his grief, his frustration, his exhaustion with raw honesty in his private journals. The Meditations are not the writings of a man who felt nothing. They are the writings of a man who felt everything and still chose how to respond. That is the standard. Not the absence of emotion, the presence of mastery over it. You are allowed to feel hurt. You are allowed to feel angry. You are allowed to grieve, to be disappointed, to be afraid. The emotionally disciplined man does not suppress any of that. He processes it privately, deliberately, and on his own terms. He does not perform it for an audience. He does not weaponize it in his relationships. He does not let it leak into his decisions. He feels it, he holds it, and then he chooses. That is the rock. That is the standard. That is the man you are building. Here is what every one of these 6 points has in common. None of this requires anyone else to change. Not the woman in your life, not your friends, not your circumstances. Everything in this video is entirely within your control, starting today. That is what makes emotional discipline the most powerful thing a man can build, because nobody can take it from you, and nobody has to give it to you. You do not need permission to become your own rock. You just need to decide. Everything in this video connects directly to what I cover next. The next video builds on this foundation and goes into the one area where most men's emotional discipline completely collapses, and why fixing it changes everything else. Watch it now. It is right here. If this hit home, subscribe. New video every single week. Built for men who are ready to own their inner world.